Alright you guys, I got a couple questions about setting up the 4-cable method with the Boss MS-3. This is how I have it. You can do this differently. I would kind of recommend doing it this way, unless you're wanting to use one of your external pedals before your amp, like an overdrive or a distortion or something like that. Your guitar comes into the in, and then these are your 3 loops, L1, L2, and L3. The send of L1 goes to the front of your amp where you would normally plug in your guitar. The return of L1 goes to your loop, to your effects loop send, and then the output left mono goes to the amp's effects return. So what that does for you is anything that you put before L1 inside the MS-3 is going to go into the front of your amp. So if you want to use compression or wah, filter effects, pitch effects, overdrive, fuzz, distortion, anything you would typically put in front of your amp and not in an effects loop is going to go into the front of the amp and not into the effects loop. Then anything following L1 is going to go into the effects loop of your amp. So delays, reverb, modulation, if you like your modulation in the loop like I do. Some people like it in the front. You could put it here if you want to, but I like that in the loop as well. So control out is what you're going to use to select the channel on your amp. And if you want to do that with an external switch, you're going to use expression 1 or 2. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let's say you had a sweet fuzz pedal that you spent a ton of money on and you wanted to stick it in one of these loops. You could move this whole setup over to loop 2 or over to loop 3, and then anything prior to that is going to go to the front of the amp. I wouldn't do that, and I'll tell you why. Because you're already losing one loop doing the 4-cable method. So what you do instead is do what I do, and in front of the amp I have my wah, terrible H, I have my fuzz pedal, and I have my tuner, because I like using the tuner as a mute, and the tuner on this is not instantaneous, so I still use my Boss TU3. So all this stuff is just plugged into the input. So why give up another loop spot to put a fuzz pedal or something when you can just put it in front of the input? So that's why I do it this way, and that's why I think this is the way that you would want to do it. Anyway, I hope that helps out. You guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up in the comments, and I will try to answer them. As always, I appreciate you watching. Peace. Take it easy.